What's up, everyone? Coming at you with 6 NCAA basketball picks for Saturday, February 24th. We were break-even yesterday, going 3-3 with one loss, coming by only half a point. Let's get back after it today. We're posting NCAA basketball videos every single day, so hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on our college basketball and NBA videos. These picks are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com, where you can get all of our best picks and predictions on every major sport. Don't forget to comment below with any questions, opinions, or bets on today's college basketball slate. I read and respond to every single comment. Now let's dive into our first game of the day, North Carolina versus Virginia. UNC comes into this game looking super uneven. They've been alternating wins and losses over the last 6 games. The Tar Heels did just comfortably win over Virginia Tech, so that's a nice sign for them. RJ Davis is an absolute monster, putting up 21 points per game, and Armando Bacot is going to be hard for Virginia to stop. They're not a team that deals well with size and extreme athleticism, and he has both. Scoring and offense are elite for this team. Their defense is very good. They're just really good overall. Their focus seems to waver or something like that in these games. It's hard to figure out why they've been having so much trouble. Their real focus in this one needs to be their ability to score against tough defense. They for sure have the talent to do that. Do they have the discipline to hang on and play correctly against this very annoying Virginia style? I think they do. Virginia is in a bounce back spot coming off a blowout loss to Virginia Tech. That was pretty embarrassing. They've actually dropped 2 of 3. This team is defense first and only, as we all know very, very well. And if the other team can manage any offense against them, they just lose the game. They don't have an answer for that. If they get down, they can't come back. They don't have any offensive skill expression in their weird offensive scheme, which is defense all the time. Reese Beekman is a monster, but he's held back by the system around him. This team in general is just really weird, really lame to watch. We're taking UNC on the road in this one. The Tar Heels are respectable against the spread when they're playing away from home. Their offensive talent is going to outweigh the defense and stalling tactics that come from Virginia. UNC can win this game on the boards. They have players that are going to be very hard for Virginia to stop. Sure, we see the Cavaliers in a bounce back spot here, but that doesn't scare me too much. It's just a small reason for concern. Next up, we've got Auburn heading to Georgia. Auburn is in a big bounce back spot. They just got absolutely manhandled by Kentucky. That was a weird one. Didn't really see that coming. The Tigers are one of the best teams in the nation on offense. They put up around 82, 83 points per game. That's a fantastic number, easily in the top 50, more like in the top 30 in the entire nation. This team is also great on the boards. They've got a lot of talent. They've got enough size and enough athleticism. They're a very good defensive team. They've really been doing well in the SEC. They're 9-4, so they're a little bit back of teams like Alabama, but they're only 1 game back of Tennessee, so they're really tied for third and only 1 game back of second. This team is really, really good. They really check all the boxes. Johnny Broome is a monster, scoring 16 per game on nearly 55% from the field. They've got all the things you need to be one of the top teams. Georgia, on the other hand, they're coming off a road win at Vanderbilt, so they're in a letdown spot. And let me tell you, wins in conference play have been very rare for Georgia this season. They're 5-8, but they've only won 1 out of their last 7 games, so that's not exactly a great stretch. But now they just won against Vanderbilt. They played pretty well on the road, got the win. They're not good on the boards, though. They're not good defensively. They're not really even so good at home. They're only 6-8-1 against the spread when playing at home, and they have no star players. Their leading scorer is putting up around 12 points per game. Like, that is not something to get excited about. That's not something that makes me think this is a team that can really compete in this game. I don't think they will compete in this game. We're taking Auburn to get the win and cover on the road. This is a huge bounce back spot for them. They get to take on a weak opponent that is not good at home and will struggle to keep up offensively, even if the Tigers aren't locked in on defense, which they should be after looking so bad against Kentucky. We like Auburn to get the blowout in this one. Next up, in one of the bigger games on this very crowded Saturday slate, we see Texas heading to Kansas. Texas won their last time out, taking down Kansas State. Max Abmas is the motor that makes this team go. If he has an off night running the offense, things can unravel for the Longhorns very, very quickly. Rebounding can also be a problem for this team. They're not that strong on the boards. Playing at home would maybe help them out a little bit. They did look good against Kansas State, but on the road, they're just not good. They got absolutely obliterated by Houston their last time on the road, losing by 21 points. This team just isn't that great. They have not traveled well. This is a letdown spot as they're coming off a win and they're going against a very, very good opponent. Kansas just had the week off. The last time they actually played, they took down Oklahoma at Oklahoma by 10 points, so a pretty solid win. Nothing to turn your nose up at there. Kevin McClure Jr. will be the best player on the floor in this game. He's a monster. This team has been good at home and they're used to an insane level of competition on a nightly basis. Also, there's a coaching edge in this game. I think the coaching edge definitely goes to Bill Self in this one. Just up and down the roster, roster, Kansas is more talented and the better team. We are taking them to get the blowout win in this one. Kansas is minus 8.5, so that's a lot of points, but I don't think that'll be a problem. Texas is overvalued, coming off a win, so they're in a letdown spot. Kansas has tons of time to rest and prepare. They're going to be very ready for this game. They're going to demolish this conference opponent that is not good at all on the road. Next up, we're looking at West Virginia heading to Iowa State. West Virginia comes into this game fresh off a shocking win. They took down UCF in one of their best games of the season. Their obviously other best game was their win over Kansas, but they're in a letdown spot now. They're having a terrible season they would rather forget. They're at the very bottom of the Big 12, just not really a team that has things put together. They're very bad on offense, averaging less than 70 points per game. They don't really have a star player. Their leading scorer is averaging 12 or 13 points a game, nothing too special. Their rebounding's bad, their defense isn't very good. They just are not a very good team. They're coming off a win, and they're having to play on the road, which is a spot they've been absolutely terrible this season, going 0-6 against the spread. Iowa State is coming off a loss, a pretty annoying loss, but they did get the cover for us against number 2 Houston. They were playing on the road in that game, but now they're back at home where they're far, far better. They're going up against a team they have something of a, kind of a rivalry, not a real rivalry, but a little bit of something going on there. They're going to want to pile on in this game. They play great defense. They're an elite offense that's very efficient. Coming off a loss, they're going to want to bounce back in a big way. We're taking Iowa State minus 18.5. I usually stay away from these big numbers, but in this one, this is going to be a blowout. Things are going to get ugly. This is going to go crazy very, very quickly. We're seeing West Virginia in a letdown spot. They're 0-6 against the spread, playing away from home. Iowa State is a staggering 13-2-0 against the spread playing at home this season, and they're going to bounce back after an annoying loss against Houston, a team I bet they think they could have played a lot better. Next up, we're going deep. We're going Chattanooga against Citadel. Chattanooga has won 4 of the last 5. They're fresh off a blowout win over Wofford. Clearly not as good as Samford, but they've been better than the bottom half of the conference, earning a lot of blowout wins and really not struggling to get up for games, even against mediocre opponents. Honor Huff is a monster and leads this extremely good offense. Defense can be a problem for this team, but their rebounding is solid, and they dominated the boards against Citadel earlier this season. Citadel has dropped 7 of their last 8. This team does not play defense. Their rebounding is a huge problem. They have a solid scorer, AJ Smith, but against Chattanooga earlier in the season, he was held under his season average, and Citadel only got 2 points from their bench. 2 points in that game, guys. And they lost by 28 despite making 7 threes in the game. We're taking Chattanooga minus 5.5 on the road in this one. They're by far the better team. They need this win to keep pace in the conference, and they're going up against a squad they already obliterated once this season. Moving right along, we've got Cincinnati heading to TCU. Cincinnati is fresh off a loss to Oklahoma State. That is not a good loss. That kind of bumps them off the bubble maybe into out of the NCAA tournament, so they have work to do here. This team is great on the boards. They're elite defensively. They don't really have a standout offensive star, but they collectively are a pretty good offensive team. They've been very competitive in the Big 12. They're coming off a loss, so that's a good spot for them to bounce back, and they already beat TCU earlier this season in a game where we saw the Horned Frogs make 11 threes and shoot 44% from deep. Can we really expect them to do that again? I don't really know about that. TCU just lost by 1 point playing at Texas Tech, so the Horned Frogs are kind of in a bounce back spot as well. This team has a ton of solid wins, including one over Houston. That was very early this season, but regardless, it's going to look great on their tournament resume. They are effectively assured of an NCAA berth at this point. They're a very good team on offense, led by Emmanuel Miller, and their rebounding and scoring are good, but they're not exactly what I would call insane. Their offense does put up over 80 points per game, so that's very, very good, but we have to worry about their motivation in this game going against a very, very strong opponent. We're taking Cincinnati plus 4.5 in this one. The Bearcats are in absolute desperation mode. They need to get wins to get themselves into the NCAA tournament and have a season win already against TCU, so they have to have a lot of confidence in this spot. Cincinnati's actually been very respectable playing on the road this season, where they're 5-3 against the spread. That's all of our games for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment below with any questions or comments about these picks or today's slate. Check out stumpthespread.com to see all of our top plays. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more NCAA basketball action.